Tonight's game is also available in high definition on ESPN HD, presented by Olivia. Back here in Cleveland, he is the franchise King James. LeBron James and the Cavaliers getting set to take on the high-octane attack of the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to show you the starting lineups tonight, beginning with the visitors, the Nuggets, who thrashed the Cavs by 22 in Denver back in November. These guys can put some points on the board. Fourth in the NBA in scoring, including two of the leading scorers in the league in Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson. For the injury-riddled Cavaliers, LeBron James, Adrunas Ilgauskas, Larry Hughes, their fixtures, but Eric Snow and Ira Newble stepping into the starting lineup for some injured players. With the latest, let's go to Rick Bucher.
Yes, Drew Gooden is actually a late scratch. As a shoot-around this morning, he thought he was going to be able to go, but after trying to warm up, his strained right groin simply didn't loosen up. And Larry Hughes is in the lineup, but he jammed his toe Friday night against Atlanta, and he told me before the game that he has not done anything on it since. He's going to give it go, but he doesn't really know whether it's going to work or not. Also keep an eye on Allen Iverson. He has a sore left wrist. He did it 4 games ago, but since then he's had 15 turnovers, Dan, in the last 3 games.
Well, it's that time of year, I guess. Everybody's looking for the All-Star break, although for guys like Iverson, Anthony, and James, it won't be that much of a break. The Cavs coming off a win at Atlanta Friday night despite their rash of injuries. And Denver right now 30-19, Doris. That's the best record this franchise has had at this point of the season in better than 20 years.
Yeah, despite the Cavs being wounded, they have pieced together some wins, 3 of 4.
Marcus Camby knocking down his first jumper, and Denver strikes early.
Now, one of the things you'll see from Cleveland early with some non-shooters on the floor and Eric Snow and Ira Newble, you'll see Zadrunas Ilgauskas. A lot of their offense early will work through him.
And Carmelo Anthony does start out guarding LeBron James. We'll keep an eye on that matchup as James sneaks to the corner and misses the jumper. Carmelo, who's averaging better than 7 rebounds per game, brings it down. Now James does not start on Anthony. Eric Snow will defend Anthony at the outset. Ilgauskas with a block on Kenyon Martin.
You mean hard to believe they're not going to put any more on LeBron's shoulders and ask him to check the toughest perimeter guy for Denver? Guy has done so much for this club, and his questions about his ability to win games in the fourth quarter, which were floated early in his career, Dan, are over now.
Well, and Denver going to work right now on that matchup with Eric Snow giving up about 5 inches at height to Carmelo Anthony. Anthony takes him right down to the post and hits the turnaround J.
Coming off a career high 49 points and an efficient 49.
Took 26 shots, made 19. James got caught in the air, finds Newble, and the tip is back up and in for Big Z.
Yeah, he is a quality offensive rebounder in the top 5 in the league, over 3 a game.
Iverson sneaks inside. Now back out on the perimeter. Kenyon Martin won't put it up against Ilgauskas. Anthony Carter will, and hits the side of the backboard on the 3. Hughes with a look ahead for James, who keeps it in play. This may be a game of pace. Denver wants to get up and down. There's a little up and down for you right there. Is that in Mike Brown's playbook?
I was going to say, that's not bad for a broken play, is it?
It all came out in the wash okay for the Cavs. Again, Anthony right down in the post. Here comes the double team, courtesy of LeBron, and Anthony misses the jumper. But nobody there to get the rebound for the Cavs. Lob inside, and Anthony slams it home. There may not be a team in the NBA that utilizes the lob as much as the Nuggets. LeBron coast to coast.
Yeah, this is a guy who gets a lot of points leaking out transition. He is fast. I think you look at LeBron, 6'8", 250, and you're not aware of exactly how quick he is.
Iverson with a miss, and the rebound of Ilgauskas. As we were starting to say, it could be a game of pace. Denver wants to get up and down and junk up the game a little bit. Cleveland a little more conservative in their approach at times, although if it works out, why not?
Yeah, Ilgauskas passes up a shot. It looks like it might be a turnover, and instead the King finishes.
No assist for Big Z on that play, unfortunately. And here at the other end, the lob from Carter to Carmelo. The foul's on Kenyon Martin, and Eric Snow goes to the line for Cleveland. 13th-year player out of Michigan State who had injuries at the beginning of the year. And there's really been very little time, Doris, where Mike Brown had his entire complement of players. They had the holdouts early with Varejao and Pavlovich. Now the injuries to those two guys. And it's really maybe a 3 or 4 week period where they've had their whole team.
They start in mid-December and go 16-5 over a particular stretch. I think what's happened with Cleveland's remarkable. Here's why, Dan. Remember, they took a trip to China. They started the season with a ton of West Coast road games, and yet they have put together enough of a run to put themselves in a position.
Iverson off to Martin, and he slams it and is fouled. And right now, Denver getting inside that Cleveland defense fairly easily. Again, here are the injuries for the Cavs right now. Pavlovich is out another 5 or 6 weeks. Varejao at least 2 or 3 more weeks. Drew Gooden and Daniel Gibson, they hope, will be back within a couple of days. Those are 4 of their top 7 or 8 players. The foul on Snow. Personally, I think Gooden's beard may have led to this strained groin. It may have thrown off his equilibrium a little bit. And 3-point play for Kenyon Martin. Guys like Snow and Newble, and off the bench the likes of Damon Jones and others will all be asked to step up large for the Cavs tonight as Larry Hughes knocks down the 18-footer.
Well, he has had a stretch where he's played well, and he is a capable scorer, a guy who has had high offense throughout his tenure. An ability to shoot the jump shot, can go off the dribble.
Good D by LeBron. The loose ball goes to Newble. Noodle's been the ultimate glue guy for the Cavs in recent games, playing anywhere from shooting guard up to center. Nice feed inside from LeBron James to Ira Newble.
Yeah, terrific cut. Just goes right behind Anthony Carter, who lost him for just a moment.
Iverson with Hughes on him. And again, they're looking for Carmelo down to the post. Here comes the help. That leaves Carter open inside the arc. And the Nuggets will have to knock down some outside shots if they keep doubling Carmelo.
Well, that's the guy they're come off of. I mean, Carter is not a terrific three-point shooter, so LeBron is going to give assistance. Understanding Eric Snow has given up size on the box, so he comes off of Carter. He says, okay, let's make some perimeter jump shots.
There's the D from LeBron that led to the basket at the other end by Newble. All 5 starters have already scored for the Cavs. They've got an early 2-point lead. Hughes for 3. And the rebound to Marcus Camby, who is second in the NBA in rebounds and first in the league in blocks. The Nuggets have a few players all over the leaderboards as Carter drives right into the vacant paint, and Ilgauskas has to come over and foul him.
Violation over 11 to Julius Ilgauskas. His first second team foul.
George Karl was talking about pace before the game, Dan. He would like to see his guys get out and run.
Got them to 45 wins a year ago, knocked out in the first round by San Antonio, and the general consensus is a full year of Iverson. There's a lot of talent on this team. You look at the individual pieces, if they can put it all together and play to their potential, that they could be a very dangerous team come playoff time. And on the other side of the coin, sometimes they don't play well at all. It's been an up and down kind of team at times for George Karl.
I don't know that it's ever up and down offensively. It seems like the criticism of Denver is their defensive effort, but it's a schizophrenic team. In the fourth quarter, they've had a lot of games holding teams under 20 points.
And George Karl thinks they're getting better, and by the end of the year could be considered one of the top 10 teams in the league defensively, which is not generally something you associate with this current version of the Denver Nuggets.
Well, we asked for it, and they give it to us in this possession.
That's right. And certainly Camby is the anchor of this team defensively. The reigning NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Inbounded to Ilgauskas, and he'll miss the elbow jumper.
This is the quietest arena.
It is very quiet.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. You'd think for any LeBron game they'd be loud. How about that? That was even stranger than the bucket the Cavs got at the other end.
Well, Anthony Carter has improved his game. He had some huge shots in a road game at Dallas to get this team back into it.
Newble is fouled by Camby and will shoot a pair. Let's take a look at what happened here.
I'm not sure the crowd knows what to expect. We've had a couple of these to start the basketball game. Some unusual plays.
Carter credited with a bucket as he came up with a loose ball and laid it in. Newble to the line, and now for the Cavs, a guy that Mike Brown just loves. Whatever he needs from him, he gets. He'll guard anybody. He'll play any position. A guy who wasn't getting a lot of minutes, now he's become a starter because of the injuries.
Well, and that's the key. And I'm not sure Mike Brown's defense is where he would want it to be, but with Snow and Newble on the floor, those are 2 guys who